Oh my god, look at what we got here. It's a porcelain cup. Professor Chiu, can you tell us something about this beautiful cup?
Sure, it's a hand-painted blue and white rice patterns decorative porcelain cup.
Look, it's made in Jingdezhen.
Yes, these porcelains are only white and blue, and beautiful as a flower, so ancient people called them blue and white porcelain. It is one of the main varieties of Chinese porcelain and unique to China.
Wow, it must be very hard to produce some delicate art piece like this.
Yes, blue and white porcelain is very hard to produce. It needs cobalt ore painted on the ceramic body, covered with a layer of transparent glaze, and then fired by high temperature reducing flame. Cobalt is blue after firing, making the porcelain very beautiful.
I heard that in the summer of 2005, the Christie's Auction House of London held an auction. A piece of Yuan Dynasty blue and white porcelain jar with painted figures was sold for the record-breaking price of 14 million British pounds, equal to 230 million Chinese yuan. It was the most expensive Chinese porcelain ever auctioned.
The rich people usually take the blue and white porcelain as house decoration, so it's a symbol of status.
My grandfather have a vase like this in our house. I never thought that it is treasure. No wonder my grandfather always keeps his vase clean in his bedroom and tell us to keep this vase an heirloom.
I really wish I can visit your house to see the vase when I have a chance.
Aha, you are always welcome.
Hello everyone. Today we'll continue to talk about the charm of Qinghua.
Professor Chiu, would you please introduce the materials and characteristics of Yuan blue and white porcelain?
Yuan Dynasty Qinghua adopted the use of imported cobalt coloring, which consisted of low concentrations of manganese and high iron content, as well as small traces of sulfur and arsenic, and no traces of uranium and nickel. On the surface, at the parts where the Qinghua blue was concentrated, there would be black speckles that sunk into the body. These iron specks would appear on the glaze and result in an uneven surface. It was the most distinguishable feature of the Yuan Qinghua and was never to be respected in later generations.
What are the main colors of Yuan blue and white porcelain?
The colors of Yuan Dynasty Qinghua included dark blue, bright blue, and violet blue, which were pure, intense, and heavy, with a special kind of ink-washed effect, as if a Chinese ink and wash painting. The choices of subject matter for the decorative images were often dragon and phoenix, qilin, tianmin, floral scrolls, as well as scenes of legends and romantic takes on history. Such stories included Therese visiting the thatched cottage, Lady Zhao leaving the frontier, and so on. Now export Qinghua ware was absent of full-bodied decorations as well as paintings and illustrations, which were all initially provided with simple drawings by the Mongol government's art officers. The painters and illustrators followed the illustrated guides and paid meticulous attention to the artworks, which made many Yuan Qinghua wares in a class of their own. In the summer of 2005, the Christie's Auction House of London held an auction. A piece of Yuan Dynasty Qinghua jar with painted figures, owned by the Dutch Van Hermot family for over 19 years, was sold for the record-breaking price of 40 million British pounds, equivalent of 230 million Chinese yuan. It was the most expensive Chinese porcelain ever auctioned. The beautifully painted scenes on this piece of Qinghua jar seemed to come to life. The main character Gui Guzi was depicted sitting in a stool where the carriage held by a lion and a tiger. Behind them were two horse riders, one of which wore the uniform of a military officer. The officer carried a flag with the Chinese characters Gui Gu. The story told took place during the Warring States period in China, when the nation of Yan was at war with the nation of Qi. The Yan army had captured the disciple of Gui Guzi, who fought for the Qi army. Thus, he was accompanied by his army, going to the rescue of his beloved student.
Professor Chu, as far as I know, Yuan Dynasty Qinghua was mainly intended for the overseas markets. It did not capture the interests of the literati and high officials in China. The Yuan court set up Fuliang Porcelain Office at Jingdezhen to produce porcelain solely for the court, favored the Ruanbai or egg white porcelain made by Jingdezhen. This kind of single-color glazed porcelain continued the traditionally high aesthetic ideals of the Chinese literati, praising clean and simplicity as the most elegant beauty. Did this situation change after the Yuan dynasty?
Changes started to take place in the Ming Dynasty. The culture of the city people awakened as Chinese opera and novels appeared. This changed the aesthetic preferences of the Chinese. Qinghua porcelain, sporting white backgrounds and blue paintings, was not only a beautiful ornamentation in the homes. It can be produced with paintings of figures, landscapes and birds and flowers, even scenes from popular operas and novels. And entertain was something single-colored porcelain with one layer of glaze could not accomplish. Qinghua porcelain gained recognition at home in addition to its fame overseas. The Ming rulers established a special imperial king at Jingdezhen to make porcelain specifically for the royal family members. The Qinghua Song became the mainstream product for all imperial kings.
Thank you, Professor Chu, for introducing so much knowledge to us today.
That's all for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.